Should you buy a house in today's market? Stocks are down 25%, crypto's down 50+%. So why in the world am I buying a primary residence in the middle of everything that's going on right here now today? In this video, I'm gonna give you my thoughts about the entire market and why I decided to still buy a house. But before we get going, if you could smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, I greatly appreciate that. So two things real quick. I'm not talking about investing in houses, buying flips, buying rental properties. I'm still doing that. I'm talking about buying my primary residence where I'm personally going to live. So my fiance and I moved to Florida from Ohio about a year ago, and I wanted to move into an apartment first to learn the area and figure out where I wanted to be. Looking back on it, I should have bought a house because it probably would have been one of the best investments ever because prices shot up after that, but we're here now. So we moved last May, and we've been looking for houses since November, and it's June now. So that's 8 months of house shopping. That's a very long time to be looking for a house. And then we finally found the perfect house, exactly what we wanted, wrote an offer on it, got the offer accepted, and then everything started hitting the fan. Stocks went down further, crypto went down further, all the exchanges was talking about liquidations and freezing people's money. The interest rates increased month after month after month, 75 bips. It literally everything for house buying turned upside down. So it really had me thinking, like, is this the right time to buy a house, especially with the interest rates increasing from where we started, where we were looking at house shopping, what the interest rates were, which are like 3 or 4%. Now they're like 5.5, 6%. It's a very, very big difference. So I was sitting there like, am I being reckless? You know, is this the right time to buy? Can I afford this? And then all these negative emotions came to me. Literally, it consumed an entire 24 hours of my day, my life, that I'll never get back. And I was thinking about how, bad everything was going to be, how I'm going to lose it all, how all my businesses are going to go to zero, how I wasn't going to make any money to be able to afford a house. But then I finally snapped out of it and came back to reality and took emotion out of the equation and looked at the facts. And here's what I came up with. When you look at current interest rates, roughly 6-ish% right now. If you look at the history of the last 30 to 40 years of this chart right here, 6% interest rates is still extremely low compared to the entire 40-year time frame. Just these last few years were we beneath that, and we got used to having those lower interest rates. But now 6% is still a relatively very low interest rate. So could rates maybe come back down to where we were at 3-ish%? Maybe. Could they continue going up? Absolutely. So at the end of the day, I removed that away from the decision-making process because looking statistically over history is still a very good rate. And wait till the end of this video. I'm gonna give you the rate that I actually got. And it's not anywhere close to 6%. And I'm gonna show you how I got that rate as well. And then the second thing I had to look at, again, removing emotion from the equation, I had to look at the housing market in general. And any decisions I made out of emotion today would be short-term thinking. So if I was going to move into this house and live in it for maybe 6 or 12 months, it changes the game. But if you're moving into a property and you plan to live on it for 3, 5, 10 years, long term, there's a whole different way you got to look at this. Could I purchase this house and the market crash immediately after? Yeah. Could I purchase this and the market maybe dips 5 or 10%? Yes. Could I purchase this and it levels off? Yeah. Could I purchase this and the market continues going up? Yes. But again, if you look long-term in real estate, no matter any of those scenarios, look at this chart here and look at what happens over the long term in real estate. If you look at like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, it's just a steady upstream. And yes, we did have a huge crash in 2008 where it came back down, and it has since continued to go up over time. So there might be some of this along the way, but guess what? It always goes up over time. So again, short term, maybe you bought at the peak right there and then you sold at the bottom. Yes, that's not a great decision. But if you were able to hold on to it for a couple more years, it would have came right back to where you were. So again, if you're looking at real estate and you plan on living in it long term, you're going to be okay normally. But history says that you're going to be okay because over time it continues to go up. And honestly, the biggest thing for me was just peace of mind. There's 3 things I look at with this. 2 of them are on the financial side, 1 of them is on the emotional side. So one of the financial questions is how much money am I going to have to put into the deal up front? How much of a down payment, inspections, closing costs, fees, etc., moving expenses, how much money am I putting into it day one? And am I comfortable with that? So I took emotion out of it. I stepped back and I was like, all right, cool. It's X amount of dollars. Am I okay with that? Yeah, I can afford that. I still got money in the bank. I'm good to go. Boom. Problem number 1 solved. The second financial question is how much is it going to cost me monthly? So you do all your calculations, you get your PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and any other expenses you're going to have. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars a month to live here. Am I okay with that? Am I producing enough income and revenue in my life and more than enough in case something does change and some of the income does change a little bit or decrease potentially? Do I have more than enough money to cover that monthly expense? For me, yes. And the third one for me, this is the emotional one, right? How much happier am I gonna be? Because I can tell you, being stuck in this 1,200 square foot apartment building, it's a beautiful location, beautiful views. It's an amazing place. It's a very luxurious, great place. I don't like it here. I want space, I want house. I don't want to be cooped up in a 1,200 square foot apartment. Like, I want the, a big house with my vision, with a pool and a garage, and I can park, at my house and not have to go up elevators. Like, that brings me peace, that brings me happiness, that brings me satisfaction. When I think about being able to move into a big house with a lot of bedrooms, I think about, having my family down to visit, having my friends down to visit, entertaining people, creating memories, possibly having my family down for Christmas and Thanksgiving, God willing. Like, those are the memories that you will never get back, ever get back. So why do we work so hard? Why do we do what we do? It's to enjoy the fruits, of our labor. So if I'm able to purchase this property and able to see, everybody around me happy when they come to visit, because I can entertain and we can create forever memories that we'll never forget, that's priceless to me. And the thing I'm really, probably the most excited for, I'm building an entire content studio, podcast studio in the house. So I'm gonna have, a whole podcast room, a whole setup to shoot other content, huge whiteboards to draw content, to give you guys more content. Like, I'm very excited for that. So I know my business is gonna go to the next level as well, because I'll be happier, I'll be at better peace, and I'll be way more creative up here, which all money is an idea turned into action that creates profit. I'll have way more ideas, which means I'll make way more money. And then the last thing, you might be sitting there saying, well, Austin, you're an idiot. The market's obviously gonna crash. You should never, you're a real estate investor. You should never buy a house knowing that the market's gonna crash. Okay, I got one question for you, just one, that's it. What day is gonna be the bottom of the real estate market? You probably don't have an answer to that, because the answer is nobody has any clue what day is the bottom of the market. The people that get paid hundreds of millions of dollars a year to time the market can't even time the market. It's impossible to time the market. So at the end of the day, will I be way happier? Yes. Will I make way more money? Yes. Will I create way more memories? Yes. Will I put myself in a financial bind by moving forward with this property? No. So there definitely will be a welcoming party soon. And then comment below if you want me to do a house tour once we get moved into the property. Comment below house tour. And like I told you earlier at this video, I'm gonna tell you the interest rate that I'm gonna get for this loan. And the interest I'm gonna get is 4%. And you may be sitting there like, how in the world are you getting 4% in today's market? It's June 23rd of 2022. How are you getting 4%, Austin? Like, most people are getting 5.5%, 6%, 6.5% right now. The reason is because I was able to shop around. Too many people take one answer and go with that. I got 6% quotes. I got 5.5% quotes with 1 or 2 points down. I got all those things. But I was sitting there, I was like, I know there's gotta be something better out there. So I called around, called a few more people, finally got in contact with somebody like, we got a loan offer at 4%. I'm like, come again? Like, say that one, do you need like 5% or 6%? Like, nope, 4%. I got the loan estimate today. So, don't just take one answer and take that as gold. It's okay to call a couple people to get multiple answers, multiple interest rates and points and fees, everything, to make sure that you make the best decision for you. This will be able to keep an extra 100 to 200 grand in my pocket day one. That's it. That's worth it, just that alone. And I'll save $1,000 to $1,500 a month in mortgage payments. So like, why would I not take that offer, right? If I would have settled, I would have lost out on that opportunity. So if you want to see what increasing interest rates actually have on your purchasing power when you're trying to buy a property, make sure you watch this next video. Appreciate you being here. Peace.